Now, in this technical demonstration, we're going to focus on secure remote login. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to present an example here where contractors are able to log in to Unix servers with privilege. Now, in order to do this, we need to make some modifications. As you can see here, we do have our Unix servers. We also have Unix accounts that are specific to the apps Unix server and the DB Unix server. So let's start by granting privilege to the systems. In order to do this, we can go into each individual system and grant that permission this way. But this means we have to do this for each of those systems. But we also created a set. Now that set was for Unix servers. As you can see here, now I've got them filtered. So now I can simply modify the set and grant the same permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on the set and click modify. I'm going to go over to member permissions and add the contractor role. Since we created a role that included both Centrify directory service users and Active Directory service users, we can add them to the role, which we've already done, and we can add that role to the member permissions. So we'll go ahead and add the contractor role. Now, for this demonstration, they only need access to view those systems because we're going to grant them secure remote login with privilege to a specific account for each of those systems. So, because they do need to see the servers in order to see the accounts, we just need to grant them view permissions. So we'll go and click Save. Now from here, let's go over to the accounts. Now, very similar to what we did with systems, we created a set for contractor accounts. And as you can see here, we've already added those accounts. But let's go ahead and make sure that we've modified the permissions properly. And we'll go into the set permissions, and we need to add the contractor role here as well, giving them visibility to those particular accounts. So we'll click Add, and once again we'll add the contractor role. And we'll click Add. Now, from here, we only want to give them view and login permissions. We don't want to expose the password. So we'll simply click Login, and we'll click Save. Now remember that the contractor accounts are only the help desk accounts for those particular servers. We added the root accounts earlier for those servers, but we're only giving them visibility to these two specific accounts. Now that this is completed, let's go ahead and see how this affects those particular contractors. So I'm going to go ahead and create another incognito window, and we're going to log in as an Active Directory contractor. And this will be Laura Bennett. Now, Laura Bennett is a contractor who does have an Active Directory account and is a member of the Team Contractors AD group. Now, we've also added her to the contractor role, which gives her permission to see the systems and the accounts. Now, this was based on the member permissions we applied to each of those sets. We didn't apply them individually to those systems or those accounts. So let's go ahead and test out the login process. From this point, I'm going to simply right click on the account and I'm going to select Login. Now, as you can see here, I'm logged in without having to enter a password or have that password exposed. If I type in, "Who am I?" it identifies me as the help desk account that I used to log in. Now, there are some advantages and some disadvantages to this process. If I need to do an elevated command, then I need to make sure that I have that password. For example, if I want to restart a service, as you can see here, I'm prompted for an authentication. If I select any one of these accounts, I'm going to need to know the password to it. So if I select 3, which for help desk A, it's going to prompt me for that password, which I don't know as a contractor because it wasn't given to me. So again, you have to understand the relationship between elevated privilege and just simple privilege. So from here, we would have to apply additional privilege, but that's going to come later in the form of workflow. Let's now go ahead and take a look at a Centrify directory service user account. Now again, this is not an Active Directory account. This is an account we created very early on in our technical demonstrations. This one was Z Contractor. And once again, because the Z Contractor account and Laura Bennett, who's part of an AD group, are part of the same role, they have the same privilege. From here, if I want to log in to the DB Unix server, I can select or request an account. If I click select or request an account, I do have that option, but it's only for the option that I have visibility into, in this case, the help desk account. And once again, once I log in, I am logged in as helpdesk-A. So again, I can still run commands and I can still perform tasks that I have privilege to perform. But anything elevated at this point, I would need to have that password.